And Muay
Oh,
Thai.
but it's gotta be Duke's. You ever had Duke's, man?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
It's good.
Oh, okay. Duke's. It's a southern thing. It's big down south. But it's good up here. I like it. Doesn't make good egg salad sandwiches though. Kind of.
I'll be on Max. Oh, yeah.
I was just gonna go steal that.
Are you going to be talking about the chip? Yeah, I was asked by after. General questions about what's going on. And isn't that usually done in the executive session regarding? Excuse me. I was kind of curious.
I'm definitely not out there at night. I don't blame him. Yeah, he ran right past our fence. I went out there first because I thought it was kids. No, on foot. Buddy. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna watch the boys and stuff, and I'm standing out there in shorts on. Next thing I see, all these cruisers going up down the street.
All about it. I was actually on vacation. I know all about it. I think they probably still done.
No, I'm not going to.
So you sit there after I just sit right beside me and bring it all over and now you're telling me to go.
I was just curious.
Who knows? There's multiple things that
No,
go
I
on.
think that I couldn't.
My
They
daughter.
got one. It's their fault.
I appreciate it.
I did not get it.
I didn't get it either.
John didn't.
Be careful, you're being recorded.
Well, of course.
Gen 2 going into annexation.
And so watch the rat ears.
There's a property, is one
Please, holy
and
come out.
Rob Platt, who's kind of, areas around here, said that there was a township and a
Oh, yeah.
county tip on
Good.
Gen 2. Gen 2 at Refugee and at Parkway. That's a really good.
Watch the rat ears. He already told me. I know. He won't let it go.
Yeah.
I thought it was good when I told him. I did that much when I was a trade thing.
We'd asked that in the spring, so is there a Gen 2? I'm sorry, TIF type Gen 2. If you guys know something, you find out. I haven't got any, the thing about, we have no real working policies. I had to provide the township zoning changes from 21, because I figured that was a lot of stuff, and we still don't have stuff, master calendars, so that's, no, but we're talking about it, I've been pushing for years, okay.
How you doing, sir?
He's not gonna have to worry after they left.
Okay.
You didn't say it's
Yeah, because I've accumulated a lot of stuff that I don't think they've got, so where I've got, like, all the agreements and all that.
That's not fair.
They don't know what like that.
You can, I mean, unless you want to get on a desk, you can sit there. Do you want your water or anything?
You don't look big enough to be trouble. So, did you see that girl in Renton? She is running for city council. She's running this thing. Well, hey there, good looking. That's because I got a crush on him. I'm shocked. There, we got there. Good. Hey there, big boy. Sweet knees. Sweet knees. Sweet knees. I know that. So now I'm not doing it. Okay, yeah, I should come to it. No, I don't want to be part of your club. Give me the password.
What?
Something I provided prior. You have bigger problems, you can't do anything. Do I?
Well, you guys get sailing.
There's certain people I don't
I'm gonna sit by you. I'm gonna sit by them anymore.
right here.
I feel offended.
You're gonna be on board.
Nobody knows about her. Julie's doing good. She's still on the well, she just has a complete shoulder. So she's not like her. Yeah, she's doing like, supposed to be like 6 hours, she's doing like every 10 or 12 hours. But I gotta eat those gummies, that's helping me sleep at night.
You got this or
She feels better, just her stomach's upset.
you got a viscera.
The last one. She'll be.
I call to order the Etna Township Board of Trustees regular meeting here Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Here.
Mr. Burkholder?
Here.
Ms. McKee? Here.
For the invocation, Stacy, are you here? Were you going to give the invocation tonight? I appreciate it. Thank you. Please come forward. Is that microphone on? Jackie, microphone?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Romans 13:1, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God, the powers that be are ordained of God. Father, we thank you for these, your servants. We thank you, Father God, for their heart's desire to serve the people of Edna. We thank you for every citizen that is gathered here this evening. And we just pray, Father God, that we have the spirit of unity in the bond of peace. We thank you, Lord God, that every heart has a heart, Father God, to do what you have called us to do. We thank you, Lord, that your peace abide. We thank you for honor, and we thank you for respect. We thank you for civility, and we thank you, Father God, for a culture that honors the service that has been given. And so we thank you, and we declare this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? So moved. Is there a second? I'll second the motion. Discussion?
Yeah, once again, Mr. Burkholder violated our own board's policies. He was supposed to get a draft agenda out to the board the Monday prior. He did not. He just ignored everybody and just put the agenda out even late on Saturday, ignoring again all items. It's just a shame when Mr. Burkholder lies up here saying that he wants to work together with everybody, then just flatly refuses to. There's also issues with the agenda for the BZA too, that we'll discuss later. But again, many important items are ignored. on this agenda that was created solely by Mr. Burkholder. So it's been a long-standing problem. Here, I went back. This is only 2 years of agenda requests that have been ignored by Mr. Burkholder and some of Ms. McKee. It would be even more if I went back even further. Action items such as procedure manual back in March of 2024. Ignored, refused. Staff leave and we can't address anything. Staff are sick, we can't address anything. But these are what's been ignored by Burkholder and McKee the entire time, and it still is. That's the problem we have, that nothing is being addressed. We have things on this agenda that somebody's emailed 8 times, and I got resolved within a week. It needs to stop, and I think it will soon. As I wrap up here in my first 2 minutes, I'd like to say that the reason we're so far behind on everything is sitting to my left, your right, because they refuse to address anything timely and even try to take credit for things that aren't even in their control, like moving a boulder after more than a year. It's time that we move forward. But that's my first 2 minutes, then I've got a reply. No? I'll go.
So that's just your discussion, huh?
That's my discussion. And then I would
Okay,
like
then
to.
I'll call the roll then.
No, I've got two minutes. That was the board directive. So this is my second 2 minutes. I move to add to the agenda the items that were refused, including discussion on the secretarial position, discussion on administrative assistant full-time position, interim support, the planner position that was authorized to be advertised. It isn't again. Burkholder failed to do that twice now after the board authorized it. Solicitor regulation equipment, the fiscal officer still preventing that. The procedure manual, like I said, since March 2024, putting us in jeopardy. The Board of Zoning Appeals interference and non-support. Anybody wants to look at the emails of past month between the Board of Zoning Appeals chair and Mr. Burkholder, I recommend you doing that. He has to control everything. He won't even talk to the chair before putting out their agenda, excluding the chair. It's unbelievable. Discussion on the prosecutor opinions and assistance updates. We have no update whatsoever. Public records fulfillment and the lawsuit. No updates on that. It'd be good to have that. Keys and passwords still. Keys are missing and not accounted for with a lot of staff that have gone. Do they have keys? So is the building secure? Employing a search firm to actually bring in employees, staff proper workstations and office improvements needed to support staff here and bring them in. The needed comprehensive plan workshop, because you adjourned the meeting and we didn't even discuss anything about form-based or anything like that. I've still got a few seconds. The pipeline work hours. I see that they're in some paperwork received from Bricker and Graydon that they're allowed to work after hours, after 7 p.m. I don't think that is appropriate, but you refuse to discuss it today. And meeting minutes, not only ours, but the BZA, the lack of timely preparation and posting. Now I'm hearing that we don't even have the recordings of the BZA meetings, which I requested, got no response from Ms. Coutinho. I think that's inappropriate. What's going on?
You fired everybody.
Okay, is there a second to the amendment? Is there a second to the amendment?
Of course, I'll add it to the
Here
list here.
Hearing none, the amendment fails. Any further discussion on the agenda? Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
No.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes,
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
the agenda is adopted. Adoption of the minutes, I'll move to table until the next meeting, the August 19th, 2025 minutes, because they're not ready yet.
Why are they on the agenda?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes?
Ms. McKee? Yes.
Why were they even on the agenda?
Sorry, there's no discussion when you moved the table there, Mr. Evans, so we're gonna follow Robert's Rules of Order. At this time, Maximilian Ungerman is our attorney with Bricker and Graydon. I've invited him to come tonight. There's a packet here that you have, quite a few materials. I passed out some other ones regarding the tips. And Max, I'm going to turn it over to you to give us an overview. They've done a nice job of putting together a lot of information, summary information regarding the number of TIFs that we have here in the township. We have a list. I passed out a list here tonight of those that have not been filed. And so I want to bring this information forward to the board and to the public. So, Max, you have the floor.
Thank you, Trustee Burkholder, and thank you to the rest of the board and to the public for
You
having
can
me.
feel you're a little taller than some of our.
Like you said, my name is Max Ungerman with Bricker Graydon. I'm an attorney there. We're assisting the township with looking at the economic development incentives that were passed primarily by the prior board administration in the around 2021. There was quite a bit of significant cleanup work, significantly with the TIFs that are there. The long list was mentioned. I won't go through each one by name, but there's at least 9 of them that have not commenced in the township, and we identified as an issue. I guess first for some of the terms that are in some of these agreements, some of them are not overly favorable to the township in terms of the percentage of the split of the money that would come from the TIF money. And sorry, TIF stands for Tax Increment Financing District. That's a mechanism used to help finance some of the building development in the township that you may see. And the second reason being is that the DTE 24, you'll hear that term a little bit, has not been filed, which commences the TIF to begin for the township to get that money. That being said, I know there's some of the TIFs are more need more of a priority than the others. We have the Langell TIF, the Sheets TIF, the Skinnell properties, and I believe there's a Jet 3 with the Etna Park 70. A lot of these are the bigger warehouses that you see on 70. So I guess I know that I gave a lot of information yesterday in an email to the trustees, putting forth some of the concerns that we had. We did a projection, especially for the Langell TIF, to show the limited funds there to improve the park that would maybe be planned as township-owned land, along with the other surrounding public improvements such as sidewalks, lighting, street signs, things like that. So I'm here to answer any questions that I guess the trustees or the public may have on that, but also to, I guess, help give some guidance as to what we should maybe look at going forward.
Well, we'll open up first. Board have any questions or anything as far as you can see the email? Also, the ones that have not been filed, they've been out here for a while. We suspect that there may be a request to file the Langell TIF, and that certainly does have an impact on the township. So I'll open it up to the board if you have any questions or comments for Mr. Ungerman.
And this is from 2021?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Most of them were passed around December 2021. That was legislation passed by that administration here at the township, and then they were agreements entered into. A lot of these TIFs are compounded with a JED or CRA, but not all of them. Some of them are standalone.
Aren't the majority of them, especially on 310, no JED, no CRA, it was just a straight giveaway tip?
Right, some of them, I think some of them are tied with CRAs, but the bigger ones definitely have JEDs. I think there's 7 JEDs tied with TIFs within the township. I would have that PDF packet that I emailed would indicate there was a CRA tied to it as well, if there is one.
Okay, and I agree with you that, I mean, because the ones that are in 310 that were done last week in December of 21, 75 to 90% are going to the developer.
Correct.
That was just shocking. to me. I had talked to you about the DT 24s. If we could just not file it or basically kill the TIFs, because number one, I think it is directing money away from the schools and fire district. I think Sheets and Drayton Hall alone, I haven't double checked your figures, but before when we talked to them, 3.6 million, I think the school's out in $1 million for the fire department. That concerns me. And I know your response was, we could do it, we might get a lawsuit from them if they try to enforce, but I think that is something that we probably should discuss in executive session if we want to stand up against it, because as you said, it's not favorable to the township. Most other townships, a large portion doesn't come to the township, or a larger portion.
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's usually dependent on, and this is part of the analysis that you'd have to get down to, is how much is the township going to contribute to it? How much are the township's expenses versus the developers? And that usually will drive the percentage split. So I guess at the time when these were contemplated by prior legal counsel, prior administration, the expectation was that the developer was going to do a lot of the work, and a lot of that money that would go to the township was reflective of that percentage. That's my best guess.
But isn't like Drayton Hall is the way I was described, the TIF is paying for the sewer line, almost everything except the building. The parking, the paths, the trees, everything. That seems to be a developer cost. I'm not sure what cost the township would have had on that. So again, I think getting 25% to 10% is a concern when typically don't we receive usually about, was it 8% of the real estate tax?
The township?
The township portion?
Yeah. So
not much more than we would have otherwise.
Yeah, and some of that, maybe there's been other discussions with the board. I know we were informed that there might be something with the road there for the township to contribute to. I think that could be a significant expense on the township if they would want to put those TIF fund money towards the road rather than trying to use other taxpayer money from other funds or anything like that. So everything listed in Exhibit B of the TIF agreement for that Langell and Drayton Hall one is what's permitted to be. It has to be a public improvement, obviously. So everything from 310, that Ashley Drive Road, the park is in the district, that can be improved. Water, sewage, like you said, street signs, street lights, sidewalks. There's a long list of items.
But the initial, the 75, the Drayton Hall starts at 75 and goes to 90.
For 5 years.
5 years, 75, and then up to 90 for the other 5. Isn't that primarily towards the sewer, the developer expenses, not that road that extends actually into the park? And
It's all grouped together.
Yeah,
So,
it's in that exhibit, correct? Mr.
right. They're all compounded together in that exhibit. It lists all of the improvements that could be eligible. We just got a number figure from them today that if they would approach you guys with that DT 24, what they would expect to be paid, was a few $1 million out of that TIF money. So now that we know that, we could probably run that into the projection. We just got that today around 3 o'clock. So we could probably update what we would see that split as things currently are. As for a renegotiation, I know that was what we kind of are recommending as a viable option here. We do see other townships, again, based on what they are willing to perform, get more like a 40-30% split throughout the length of it, not just first 5 years or something like that. The other thing is we usually see a cap on the developer. We're saying we're going to stop you at a certain point. You can't just keep feeding you as you keep putting these improvements in. And at some point the township eventually probably wants to even take that over once it gets to a certain level and just say we're going to take it after the cap or something. So those are some of the terms that we would want to do. Another, I think, is a viable option here, what we call sweeten the pot, which is where you would extend the TIF. You work with the developer and you say, we're going to do maybe a 30-year 100%, and that way you make the schools whole. So you would do a compensation agreement where they're going to pay the schools everything they would have gotten, regardless of whether there was a TIF or not. And then you're going to extend it from a 10-year to a 30, and you're going to go from a 75% to 100% of that improvement value. That looks like it might be best leverage here to say, hey, it's a deal for us, it's a deal for you, it's a deal for the schools to get everything back that they were expecting. But that we'd have to renegotiate, that would have to be conversations with the developer for that Langell Drake Hall area.
One of the concerns, I've got several concerns, but one of them, if the school was made whole, fire district, which is the next one down, which is about a third of what the school gets, are out. And we just had to do a replacement levy to bring in 3.5 million, when 4.8 million was tipped and faded. And it's hard, I mean, you see where the push is to end property taxes, that people aren't gonna be voting for bonds and levies and that. So my concern is diverting any more funds in that. I would really, and I'm in discussion with somebody else, they had said, I mean, this was hastily written, an election was lost, they kind of threw it together, and that's where I heard that even developers wanted to kind of rewrite it, because they thought maybe the reimbursements weren't as solid. Your review of it, is that a concern, or is that a benefit for us that there is a little bit, I guess, gray area that we'd be like, no, that's not reimbursable, or is it? And that's just what I've heard. We haven't had any analysis of this.
Well, some of the wording of it, like we said, definitely favors the developer in the sense that some of them say, like, developer has no obligation to build anything, you know, or it says, you know, they're still gonna have to consent to, you know, the assignments, if there will be reimbursement to an assignee later on. To your point though, there is some points that the developer has missed, such as filing the DT 24 should have been done years ago by the developer, should have came to the board at that, you know, 2022. And so in some of these areas, they may have missed their chance in the sense that now it's in the township's court for a later, they sold the property and now they didn't do that assignment to the later developer. And so now they have to come to you guys and say, well, we need you guys to do this for us, and essentially this favor, because we didn't file this before we sold the property, if that makes sense. A lot of these applications are property owner driven. The language specifically says it's at the request of the developer, which is what was the Langell now Drake Hall. So that is something they probably want to correct on their end, since they let that one slip, I would say.
Of the ones that haven't filed, I'm assuming all of them, the DTE 24s, are all of them in that same similar situation with new owners? Or are there some that they still have that recourse to file it themselves, or do we have the leverage over all of them?
It probably is going to depend on each one. I'd say some of these definitely have probably stayed the same. I mean, when Sheets was passed, it's still Sheets, you know, I think that's an example. Some of these, I think Skinnell, that's still owned. Some of these other ones though, there may have been some splits and transfers. We'd have to look deeper into each one. But to that point, I think there was, at least some of these, it would benefit them to do that, to come back and renegotiate, I think, because they would have to, there's already probably at least a year or something that they missed by not filing. So they would get that back if they would come back to the negotiation table and say, hey, we want to extend this, or in some sort of fashion renegotiate. There's an opportunity for them to put it that way.
Yeah, I just think that it was a raw deal. Like I said, election lost a week before they left. I think it's 6 tips that were the Langell JVW, KNC, JVW2, Sheets, and Sabatino. Sabatino is, I think, the big one. That should have been done, and there was no JED with it. There was no back, you know, because typically you'll do that, and then there'll be a JED, a lot of revenue, and all that stuff. But I think even if there was a JED on Drayton Hall, the commercial, you're not going to get much money from that.
No, I don't even know if we know what the full plan is yet for those
From Taco Bell?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's definitely not as big as some of these warehouses on 70 or elsewhere in the township that maybe provide more income for the township's tax.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to, I personally would like to push to see if we can nullify it or stop it or whatever. If that is not an option, at least minimum have the leverage and renegotiate it to some more favorable terms. Because as it stands, I think everybody got the raw deal except the developer.
Yeah, I will say this, the fact that township has something, when I was talking to Caleb earlier today, he said, getting even 10 or whatever the percentage can go up to, like 30% is better than nothing. So if you, like I said, not filing opens up a lawsuit. You have a reliance issue if they already started building. You have breach of contract, things like that all can go into this. But if you do decide to file, maybe it's like, hey, we don't really have an obligation here as a township to build much or to put in many improvements, then, like I said, getting, even if in year 7 you're at just 10%, worst case scenario, that's better than 0.
And regarding lawsuits, I do have a question, because one of the trustees that was on that board admitted in an open meeting that they would constantly violate open meetings, discuss everything.
You're out of order,
No,
Mr.
this
You
is
are
about
out of order,
this.
Mr. Evans. You're not going to
That they would
politicize. You
discuss
are
things that
out
might be
of
something
order.
that we can challenge.
You are out of order, Mr. Evans. I'll tell you
Just
that
because
right
Carlisle
now.
Johnson
You
Ford
are
did
out
it,
of order.
we could challenge it.
You are out of order.
You want to protect them.
No, I don't. We're going to preserve decorum now. Mr. Eggerman, could you briefly, and the reason I invited him here tonight as well is because there's a lot of confusion. These are very complicated economic development tools. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things set out in the public that are incorrect. For example, this TIF has not been filed, so there's been no funds diverted yet. They will have to pay taxes, but you've been aware of this for 4 years now, Mr. Evans.
And I've tried to do
And I
it.
decided that we need to bring it to the public. The other thing I want to talk about on this particular project is that the agreement is that we, the township, have to build the second half of Ashley River Drive. That's been estimated. I don't know the exact amount. You always have an estimate. It's been talked about $400,000 to $500,000. And the agreement was that that second half would fall on the taxpayers of Etna Township. The township would have to build that second half. So it made sense to get our attorneys involved and say, can we renegotiate to where we don't have to expend that money for that public? It will be a public road, so it's a public improvement. So I'm glad, but what I want you to explain is the fact that on about the 1075, that the original value, which was probably agricultural, the school districts still get that tax on that, right? And then they get, what, 25% of the appreciated? Because it's a 10-year, but it's only 75%. But if you could go through that a little bit, because I think that's something that both the board and the public, I think, need to understand about how that gets split out.
Sure, so the 1075, that's a TIF by right. The revised code allows townships to do that without school district consent. Versus the 30-year 100 that requires a school district consent, and that's why you typically get into a full compensation agreement where the school is made completely whole in those scenarios. The 1075, those by right, you just need to provide notice to the schools that the township's doing it, and the way that works is the year that the resolution is passed, that acts as a freeze on we call that the base year. So that would freeze the taxes essentially. A lot of times, like you said, it's agricultural or just land. But the way the TIF works is it will capture, once the DT-24 is filed, the increase in assessed value. So what the auditor will assess the building improvement as on the property. And so that will apply to 75% of that increase in assessed value, whereas the remaining 25% will be processed as normal for the schools and such to still get their money and things like that. So
you said 25% will be the schools, right?
It's normal, typical.
Not 25% of the schools, but the 25% that's not tipped.
Did not tipped money.
60% of
That's
it.
what I was trying to make clear.
Yes.
That'll be distributed.
Yes, the 25% still, it's going to process like your normal real estate taxes on the property. It's the 75% of that increase. So again, there's still that base frozen area that's still processing normal, but the increase on that building improvement, that 75% of that amount is going to be diverted into the TIF fund, if that makes sense.
Trustee McKee, do you have any
No,
questions or anything?
Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else?
Yeah, just one final thing. Like I said, if we can anyway unwind this, what we need to protect the school, and there's talk about the schools being made whole. the fire district, and there's other entities too that are involved, but the argument that, well, you know, they're getting more than it would have been on the land. Well, everybody's house is being taxed that used to be just a plot of land. Everybody else is paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a year or more in real estate taxes. Commercial development should be reducing that burden, but it's been increasing it because of all these tips. And we're a hot area. We don't need it. The one tip area here, JED 3, they're getting premium lease rates. They didn't need that to build. So I've had discussion with others for abatements that why do they need it? They don't need sewer, they don't need a turn lane or anything because everybody else gets it. So we don't need to build out right away, fill up, but school funding is critical, fire funding is critical, and I'm against these tips. And
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it forward, because if they request it be filed, I think we as the township ought to have a plan and a strategy, particularly when we have additional costs as well. So no one argued that the 25% was the offset, but given these deals and everything, this probably should have come much sooner.
And I pushed for that. I do remember even Miss McKeon,
I don't
Bill,
recall.
not Bill Spurgeon, Bill Vance was going to get all this together. And I've been pushing for 4 years for this to be addressed, and it's been blocked.
Well, no, it hasn't been blocked,
It's-
Mr. Evans.
it's
So
in here.
apparently,
It's in here.
and by the way, please provide your calculations. You keep talking about the calculations and you put it out on.
Yeah, that was from Rob. That was from Rob Platt
Well,
with the
let's-
meeting with
well,
the
let's-
school.
Well, let's see those, so.
Yeah, Rob Platt, the school, and the attorney for them.
I'm gonna give the opportunity, is there any questions from the public? Normally, we don't do that, but I think given a lot of discussion and interest, are there any questions anyone from the community has regarding how these things work and how we're trying to untangle
You need a microphone so we can hear you on the recorder.
I'm sorry.
them? Thank you.
Maximilian, you're working double.
My question is, when we do the 75-25, or we do for the 5 years, it's 5, 10, 15 years is what the 75-25 can go to. And then the 30-year tips, there's 70-30. What I wanna know is when they assess it after the buildings have been built and the land is actually worth more, is that calculated in the 25% that the school's gonna get at the end of the tip? Because it's my understanding that if the builder comes back and there's 25% in the tip, and they need something done because they didn't do it right in the first place, that money can come out of that tip and not go to the school. I mean, I've had numerous meetings with people talking about all this stuff, and I need to know as a consumer, a landowner, a taxpayer, what's gonna, and a school grandma, what's gonna happen with it. And these can't be renewed, correct?
They can be, they can be extended, it can be replaced,
Yeah.
it can be renewed.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
But to answer your other questions, the developer would pull from that 75% amount. If you said that if they made a mistake, they would have to, all these to be reimbursed, they would have to go and submit a requisition request if they're in the agreements, which is basically a request for reimbursement. That's how that would work. They're allowed to submit that twice a year, and they have to show detailed work, what was put in, how much basically line item each cost that they are doing. It has to be in alignment with what's in the agreement. They can't just, say, oh, this was something else. Like I know some of the tips we've had to deny for even, remediation work if there's, a retention area that, fell apart and they had to come back and do that. So it can get a little gray in some of those areas, but they can, if there's, a recurring issue like maybe a manhole or something that needs filled in or laid over, they usually submit for that. Did that help answer your questions? Is there?
Maybe a quick abatements, they don't pay tax. Tips, they pay the taxes if there's nothing there, but 75% is put off to this pile. 25% is distributed as normal, so that 75 is what, and that money actually comes back to the township, county, whoever's doing the tip, and then they're responsible to distribute it, correct? According to the agreement?
So that's 75%, like you said, 25% process is normal, 75%, they're actually paid separate from taxes. They're called pilot payments, payments in lieu of taxes. They will be made per the agreement, almost in a voluntary sense, as part of almost a borderline special assessment type on the property rather than an actual tax. And then to come back to the township, it'll be based on that. The county and probably your fiscal officer will have a TIF fund specifically for that named TIF. The money will come from the county, and they will basically disperse it to the township. The township then is in charge of dispersing the percentage, first off to whatever it would be to go to the schools and any township expenses. That usually can be administrative costs, legal expenses, things like that. And you get into the split, so the developer will take their split, township will take their remaining split.
But under the current tips, nothing's going to the schools, nothing's going, it's either developer or township.
Right.
Right, 75.
Right, the county, it's the county's job to pay the schools with whatever.
With the 25.
Right, it's just in a process like.
Yeah, I was just talking about that.
Yep.
And like you said, the one concern about these agreements was there was no cap. It was just
Yes.
75 to 90%. I think 17 was straight 80% for 10 years. That was one of my concerns too. But
Yes, ideally they would have submitted like development plans and expected costs, and then you would, based on those numbers, you probably want to put a cap on them. You know, if that's a renegotiation or future TIFs, whatever it may be in the township. But
without a cap, could we hold them to a cap, saying that's not reasonable? Is that one of the things that they want to renegotiate? Because they actually came back, Drayton Hall and Sheets combined, they wanted to extend it 20 years. And I'm sure put all the other things that were kind of missed and stuff in there. Does it benefit us not having a cap, saying, well, we can hold it, or I know there could always be a lawsuit, but
without
that's
it,
right.
without it in the agreement, there's not, the cap is kind of the unspoken, you get reimbursed for what you did. They can't just, you know, it's got to end somewhere probably. Either it's the end of the TIF, or they've made all the improvements that they need to and they're done submitting.
But like in the 10 years, I mean, it includes their trees, their benches, their.
It's in the exhibit.
Right, I'm saying that, so say their trees die and they're replacing, is it the replacement trees? Are we maintaining their property for 10 years?
Well, that would be probably a township public improvement at that point, if you guys are replacing them. If it's them,
But it's not our land, it's their land.
it's about who's putting in the cost. You'll see sometimes even the subcontractors that they're trying to they'll get reimbursed for like subcontractor work, or, you know, other entities within the TIF. It's their money to pay out to whoever does the work.
So
if that
we
makes
pay
sense.
out,
It's
they
reimbursement.
reimburse us.
Right.
But it's their land, but we're paying for the parking lot on their land, correct? The trees, the benches, the sidewalks.
Right, so if that's the case, the township should be getting reimbursed for that if you're doing the work, if your road crew's in there, if you're.
No, but we're not, but I believe that what I was explaining earlier was pretty much everything but their apartment buildings is being reimbursed through the TIF. The sidewalks, the walking paths, the parking areas for.
Well, there's a private road there, you wouldn't get reimbursed for the private road.
Whatever.
Is that excluded in there, or?
The private road is specifically included in there. If it's private, no, it's gotta be a public improvement. So if it's a private road, they can't.
So their parking lot for their apartment leasees
That's
is
private.
not part of the reimbursement.
It needs to be a public infrastructure improvement. If they're gonna put water lines that other people are gonna connect in with, if that road does become public, they might try to get reimbursement for that at that point. If they would dedicate it, or if they would request that the township finish it. I think there was a park on the far side they might want to connect to.
But like the improvement on 310 with the light and stuff, that is what they're probably gonna submit.
Yeah, if it's like a sidewalk that's open to the public, if there's lighting there, that can all be reimbursed, since that would be accessible to everybody.
Very good, we will, obviously continue this conversation, and Mr. Ungerman, we appreciate all your work and the team that put this together, and so that we have facts and figures and have some possible options. I appreciate it.
Of course, like I said, our last thing was we just wanted to, if you get the DT-24, I mean, it's probably, we wouldn't recommend a lawsuit ever, obviously, but, you know, that's something that the board would have to decide. They would be able to recount for the full maximum amount that they otherwise would have spent under the TIF. That would probably be the number on that liability. If you, like I said, Caleb just said something is better than nothing, he said, and he said each one will probably require analysis of what's the township's obligations, or what are you desiring to put in for public improvements, what is the developers, that'll drive the split. Again, if there's not a whole lot, if there's like sheets is already done, township didn't do a whole lot on there, maybe it makes sense to just get it and get at least some of that money. If these TIFs are, the only way to kill them per se is really to repeal the legislation, and, you know, or try to undo it somehow. It's very hard when you have a resolution that's passed, if that makes sense.
Very good. Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
and one quick thing on the JED 2, I'll try to get that information to you, but is there any, where would that be recorded? Or like I said, somebody said there was county and township on that same property on Etna Parkway, southwest of Refugee and Etna Parkway.
So, we had limited information on the file that was sent to us on that JED 2. We know there's a JED that made reference to a TIF. I don't know if it's a county TIF or a township TIF. They're typically, both can pass a TIF simultaneously, but only one can apply. So at that point, it's a first to file situation.
And that's what I was told, first to file.
Okay, so
But we should have that documentation correctly, because nothing would have been filed, nothing would have been.
If there is a TIF there would need to be a township resolution that would be passed at that time.
We could find it, or. Okay.
Very
So
good.
I can find zoning from 21.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Appreciate your time. Public comments. Anyone has public comments, please limit it to 3 minutes. Please come to the podium, state your name and address, and I ask that you speak slowly so we do the minutes. Sometimes the mic doesn't pick up very well, so feel free to hold in your hands so that we've got a correct public record for the minutes. Anyone at this time? There will be an opportunity at the end of the meeting as well to have 2 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Kristen Wrench, 78 Runkle Drive. A couple questions regarding the next agenda item for the Cumberland Estates. We saw that it's on the agenda of PMOD modification and final development plans being submitted to the Zoning Commission. I would like to understand what changes are being requested from the developer. We have a records request outstanding, so we can learn and understand what's in those documents. And then also, I would just like to hear and understand what the process is once it goes to the Zoning Commission, if they approve, what are next steps? If it doesn't get passed by the Zoning Commissions, what are next steps as well, please?
Very good. We're going to be talking about that under the agenda item. So I know it's general here, but I'm going to give an update. We've consulted with legal counsel on that process. So I'll be explaining that under that agenda item.
Okay, and then what the different next steps are.
Yes.
Okay, great, appreciate it. And Ms. McKee, being on the water or the fire board,
Yes, ma'am.
have you had an opportunity to speak with them about this item?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in regards to the, what are they gonna use, pavement versus asphalt, yes.
And will you be able to share what they,
Well, they're gonna go by the code, so yeah, we'll be able to share that information.
okay, the code that's now or not in
The code is now, so
Okay.
we'll talk about that.
okay, thank you,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Very, very good question. Is there anyone else? Yes.
Should get those records requests now.
Hi, it's Terry Raver, 9305 Summit Road. We all should know that by now. I just have a question. I asked it last meeting and got no answer. I asked a couple questions last year and got no answer. I would like to know why do trustees request that you email them or do anything when you don't answer important emails for over a year on a subject that has been brought up at the meetings several hundred times, not hundreds, a lot. And you don't answer the emails, there's someone on the emails that was CC'd that has told me they don't know why they were CC'd on the memo from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, about a big thing on Summer Road that's supposed to be happening. And I asked for township property to be given away to another entity, Reynoldsburg. Does it have to be a 2-0, 2-1 vote, or does it have to be all three because you're giving up Etna Township property? I've asked this question more than once, and I've gotten no answer. So it would be nice for the people who live there. I've been told that, oh, just get over it, you'll have to move, whatever.
Who told you that?
A couple people that have attended meetings before.
Okay.
It's not as easy as y'all think, because you have these developers that are building all these things and getting all these TIFs. Try to get a wheelchair in an apartment building that has just been built. The doors aren't wide enough. There are steps. Bathrooms aren't on the first floor. So when we were at the zoning meeting, they were talking about assisted living. You do realize that there's ADA laws, and that people can be held accountable for not providing services to people that are handicapped. We're talking mothers who have strollers, who have toddlers. You're talking about building a park that is going to have no running water and has no restroom facilities. First of all, if you're a mother, you have 2 kids, you're not going to leave your kids outside the porta-john to go run around while you're trying to go to the bathroom. Where's the mother going to change the baby's diaper? Where's the running water to wash the hands? Because kids get hurt. They pick up stuff that they shouldn't be picking up. And you guys don't think things through. I mean, I'm not saying that you're bad. I'm just saying there are some things that need to be considered. How's a mom with a stroller going to get down into this park? Where are the kids going to go? What do the kids have there besides a picnic area? I'm just saying these things needed to be considered. There needs to be running water in a park. Kids might swallow a bug. They want to get it out of their mouth. What are they going to rinse it out with? Okay, there's no sidewalks to sheets. I mean, there will be eventually to Speedway, but that's a long way for a mother to go with her 2 kids, 1 kid, however many kids. You want it to be a place where people are going to want to go, make it a place where people are going to want to go. Porta-johns are not really top of the line things. I mean, you want to build that into a downtown, and you need to think about that kind of stuff at the other part too.
30 seconds.
Just think, please think.
Thank you.
And Mr. Farber, I did indicate last meeting that I believe it's a 2-1 vote only required to allow Brownsburg to develop our road on Summit. That should be verified though by our attorney.
I think it should be unanimous.
Anyone else?
Again, since I am blocked speaking.
Let the record show you are not blocked, Mr. Evans.
Yes, you adjourned during trustee comments in the middle of my sentence. So once again, we're sitting here talking about TIFs. 6 of them given away 1 week before Mr. Carlisle left office. That is diverting millions upon millions of dollars away from not only the school district, but fire district and other entities too. It was hastily written because there was a trustee, Mr. Carlisle, that lost the election. He didn't even decide to put in for the OPWC grant that they voted for the day of election. But his priority was money, millions to developers. And if we could stop it, we should. But again, you can't make this stuff up. We have 2 meetings scheduled for Thursday at 6 o'clock. Mr. Davis here, chair of the NCA, and Mr. Burkholder, chair of the Board of Trustees, apparently can't work together or use a calendar to say, hey, we've got a meeting here. That's why we need a master calendar and people to actually worry about our agendas, not the BZA agenda, which was published without the chair's involvement or knowledge. Do you have to control everything? The answer is yes, but it shouldn't be. That's a separate board. Let them do what they need to do, provide the support. Don't control them. Don't interfere. Like I said, anyway, look, the last 30 days of emails between the Board of Zoning Appeals and Mr. Burkholder, very telling. Here I picked just 2, February 14th at 24 and March 1st at 24. All the agenda items that were needed, they're still not done because they've been blocked by first Ms. McKee, Mr. Johnson, and then Mr. Burkholder, Mr. McKee. That's why it included hiring secretarial help.
1 minute.
And I know it's on, you don't have to interrupt, but again, this is 2 years of agendas that have been blocked on important things. And again, tonight, we have the 4-way stop that they had to email 8 times. That's ridiculous. I contacted the engineer and within a week, got the answer. Why is that so hard? And you don't act cooperatively because, again, you didn't send out the draft agenda as required by the board vote. Didn't do it. You're voting to not use diligent, but our fiscal officer's contacting diligent saying, hey, I need support and stuff. What is going on? I don't think you know.
Oh, I do know, Mr.
And
Evans.
no, this is a total mismanagement. And again, this is what I've been trying to do. And if we can stop those tips that John Carlisle gave and
Your time's expired, Mr. Evans. Your time's
I
expired.
know you want to silence
No,
me.
I know you want to campaign all night. That's
No.
not, that's not right.
This is about supporting the school and fire
Everyone,
district.
please. Sir, you have the name and address, please.
Ryan Davis, 807 Watkins Road. Since Mr. Evans gave me that wonderful introduction, I'd just like to say that Mr. Burkholder, I appreciate you putting together that meeting for Thursday night in conjunction with the other meeting happening, so the BZA can actually see what's going on, what's going to be requested. That's exactly what happened. So regardless of what Mr. Evans said, it was actually planned that way. So he would be more informed if he wasn't arguing and combative with everybody. But we discussed that when Mr. Burkholder came and presented his second request for the High Point Park, which was approved and voted on to be approved by the board. So I would like to just clarify that, and last meeting for the election. Thank you.
That's correct. That's a joint meeting.
I'll get my
on Thursday.
homework.
That's a joint meeting on Thursday between the NCA and the Board of Trustees.
Cover it up.
And it's true. It's advertised by both, Mr.
And you
Evans.
said the BZA, that's.
Well, he met the Board of Trustees, yeah. We have a meeting on Wednesday with the BZA. The BZA meets, and on Thursday, and we'll announce it.
And there was
at the end
3
of the
days
meeting
notice that there's a
as
work
well.
presentation?
So, sir, you have the floor.
John Kennard, 10785 Palmer Road, Pataskla. Mr. Burkholder, I'm gonna speak slow. You're probably disappointed that you invested in a triple extra large shirt for somebody to wear at the street fair to support you for your election. Probably could have done it without that expense. I don't see many more candidates out here, because if they were here, Evans would be hammering on them. He just spoke of every candidate running for office tonight, bad-mouthed them. I'm taking bets how long it will take Rachel, etc., before she kicks him to the curb if he's supporting her, but she says she's not supporting him, but so we'll see how that goes. But it's just pretty disappointing, but it's going to be real exciting in a couple of weeks when Mr. Evans is not reelected. And, you know, I've become a popularity person because of Mr. Evans putting my picture on Facebook because I harassed him during a meeting. It's been 4 years. You'd think he'd grow up and get over that part, but he doesn't. And
Address the board.
Mr. Davis.
Mr. Kennard, please address the board.
Okay, Mr. Davis, somebody in the crowd took a picture of you on your cell phone the other day at a meeting. So you're gonna be getting real popular and that may help your votes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
John Carlisle, 6767 Palmer Road, Etna, Ohio, 43046. Mr. Evans, back at your candidates forum in September, you made a statement that the sound wall at FedEx had been moved by the prior administration. You said you were going to give me a copy of that drawing. Have you?
I stated that you gave yourselves the ability to place the wall, and that is in the legislation.
You said.
And you placed it 8 foot, 8 foot.
The trustees moved the wall, is what you said.
That's right.
I challenge you to show me the drawing.
Please.
You don't have it.
I said
do.
it's words.
Please give a copy.
I can't
Please
wait
give
to
a
show
copy.
this one. So are you saying that the legislation you approved does not state that you and the board determine the place of the wall? Which is the whole issue that everybody's life was destroyed there, Mr.
That
Carlisle.
is exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Evans.
Would you like these
Because
tips?
you would like to look at the first drawing. This is the drawing that
Words.
was, Mr. President, will you please tell him to let me have mine?
You asked me a question.
I didn't like you answer.
This is exactly what he does in his forums. He wants to talk to shut up?
Go ahead, Mr. Kennard.
If you look at the first page, that was the original drawing that was submitted to the trustees in June of 2020. On the second page, you'll see that the sound wall was placed in September of 2020 at the request of the Board of Trustees. And note that the buffer was 30 feet from that wall, or from the property line.
Not the wall.
The wall was placed 30 feet from the property line, the east property line. And then if you also look on the second page, it also states that the wall, the proper placement of the wall would be determined at the LCPC and the sound study would be completed. And then if you look at page 3 is where the wall was at, 7.83 feet. And the reason is because LCPC moved the wall. We approved it at 30 feet. LCPC moved the wall because this water and sewer district needed a 30-foot easement for their sanitary sewer. They moved the wall, not my administration. Now, we're going to talk about the TIF. You need to understand what TIFs are and how they work.
I do.
And apparently, by the question that you asked, you have no clue.
I know it diverts school and fire money away from them, 3.6 million.
Okay, is there anybody else now that has?
A week before you left office.
Is there anyone else?
A week before you left office, scrambling.
Does anyone else have an opinion? Go ahead. I won't start the clock yet. State your name and address, please.
Alicia Zacher, 79 Trail East, Etna. I'd like to refer to something. And what I'd like to talk about is the night before the election that Mark stood up and told everybody, hey, vote for Gary. He's the only one who can do this. He's the only one that can make sure that we're on track and everything's fair. That's what
And he lied.
Mark said. Then,
No promises kept.
Any questions, please give me a call, 614.
we'll just play this and show what Mark is saying the night before the election, and what he's saying is, please, vote for her, vote for Gary.
Mark Evans here. As you can see, I'm at Township
Gary acted pretty well for 2 years.
So if you're watching this
You
tonight,
carried out no.
Out of order, shut up.
catching this tomorrow. I hope you're on your way to the polling centers and will cast a vote in this pivotal election. This election is essentially between restoring the township to proper administration, installing civility, professionalism, and bringing in the needed experience to this township, and that's with Gary Burkholder. He is who I am endorsing, and who I believe truly is the only one that will get us back on track. He's been working very hard the last 2 years to help residents that have been ignored by our board, and he's got a lot of experience and actually helped me out when John Carlisle provided zero transition when I came on board. So he's proven himself, and we need him. Now the alternative is a candidate, Trent Stepp, who is backed by Rosalind McKee.
1 minute.
Now we know Rosalind flipped as soon as she got elected.
And so did Burkholder.
Brought Carlisle back into the township, and she is doing everything she can to get Trent Stepp elected. There's a reason, because she wants to maintain that control. We're not going to have change if that happens. So please, I urge everyone to help me continue the fight for proper administration, bring back civility, bring back equality amongst all trustees, because right now we don't have that. So with Gary Burkholder on board, all trustees.
30 seconds.
That's his promise, and that's mine also. It's what's right, and
I kept
also
mine.
we'll follow the rules, follow the law, and just do what's right and best for the residents. So please.
So you
The
heard
only
my point.
civility that we've seen is from the chair and from Rosalind, not from you, sir.
Your time has.
You proved my
expired.
point. Rosalind
Your time
flipped, you
has
flipped.
expired.
Yep.
I only have one quick comment. If there's any confusion among any resident of the township, I am not on the ballot this fall.
Your control
Everyone
is,
thinks I am. I mean, some people think I'm actually running, but I'm not on the
your
ballot.
control is, that's why you're pushing Davis. Davis is the Trent
Is there
Stepp of
anybody
this
else?
election.
Is there anybody else?
You three all were on the ticket.
You got a minute, it's interesting. Sir, go ahead.
John Hanson, Ridgewood Drive, Etna, Ohio. I would like to point out how ironic it is for Mr. Evans to talk about civility when you can see if you come up and make comments, then you're verbally waterboarded by Mr. Evans. So, and I think the only question we should really concern ourselves with, do we want for Etna what Mr. Evans has done for his businesses and his marriages and everything else? I mean, he's a specialist in stripping people from assets and not paying bills. I think what we're looking here is if you vote in Etna or know somebody who does, please encourage them to consider voting for someone other than Trustee Evans. Since his removal as president just 4 years after just 4 months in 2022 for misusing taxpayer funds to investigate John Carlisle, Evans has obstructed progress in Etna. This is his game. If you look at it for 4 years, he complains about this calendar all the time, and that is something he could do, and he has not done that. Evans has obstructed progress in Etna. All 6 candidates running against him are likely better choices. Evans has tried to create division within our community through constant attacks on his opponents. Evans appeared in court September 6, 2024, where he admitted under oath to part of his sabotage of Etna. His testimony cost Etna $27,069. And the video from Stop Evans PAC just describes this. The problem for Evans is that he created all the evidence videos against him, one of which shows him using an employee's password right in that room over there, February 6, 2023, to access her computer and improperly take documents and go through all her emails. Meanwhile, October 7th, he informed me that he had forwarded my records request for his messages to outside counsel. And you see him 3 times tonight attack Jackie for not immediately jumping on public records. And what he's done is he says, "Oh, we sent yours to outside counsel."
30 seconds.
Mine always gets sent to outside counsel. They spent $10,000 blocking the last case. You know, so they spent $2,600 in one day reviewing emails. So the Evans record proves an inability to get along with others, build a coalition to achieve any positive progress for township initiative. Evans has bullied 8 employees out. Notice tonight how he says, "We need help, we need to hire people, it's improper." But that's his game. He wants to create chaos and try and pose himself as the only solution.
Time.
He is the problem.
Time. Thank you.
All right.
Please. Who's next? Very good.
Yeah, I'm the only one that stood up.
Go to zoning. We have to give a report on that. It's a very complicated matter with Cumberland Estates as far as the PMUD. Zoning at one time, the PMUD, Planned Mixed Unit Development Zoning, was changed. And it was in that zoning that they would allow grass and pavers on the emergency access going from Runkle to the north to the Cumberland Estates. So the question is that a minor modification? The modification now, subsequent to that, then the fire department changed their regulations and said those emergency accesses need to be concrete or asphalt in order to carry the weight of that large apparatus. So the question is, what is the process? It's a very good process. That could be determined a minor modification to the PMUD zoning, which could be an administrative action, which could be done by the zoning inspector. Our zoning inspector is currently out. I guess that possibly would have fallen to me. I know some trustees have expressed they think it ought to go back to the zoning commission. I happen to agree with that, and I'll give my colleagues an opportunity to speak on that as well, so that we can take that back to the zoning commission. They would review that. I've spoken to outside legal counsel who represents us with Bricker and Green regarding that process. We've also had a submission for the final development plan for Cumberland Estates as well. Quite a few documents in that. So outside counsel recommended that we take both of these, the modification and the final development plan, back to the zoning commission. So we're going to be working with outside counsel to deal with both of those issues, and it seems it would be very efficient to do that. If there's anything else from the fire department, any other types of options, then those certainly would be welcome to try to, I guess, resolve what was originally promised to the residents that live on either side of that emergency access. And so we have fire department regulations, we have zoning regulations, and we want to make sure that we follow the final process. So I agree. I think because of the impact that it has, and it's a very unique situation, that we take it back to the zoning commission and address it there. There's a possibility that if it's unanimous there, then it's my understanding it doesn't come to the trustees, but if it's not unanimous, then it will. But we want to look at that whole process, and that's why we've engaged outside legal counsel to make sure that this is properly done. Anything from the board?
Yeah, Chief Trinish and Chief White, he's a state fire marshal, and they have been meeting on this on a regular, and it's either you're gonna go with your regular road or the road concrete. Those are the options that are out there right now. So I guess once it goes to the zoning commission, they can make that decision which direction they will go.
So first, has the request for modification change been submitted to the township? Yes or no?
The modification,
The request for modification. In our zoning, it requires that a request be filed with the township, and there's certain number of days in this. Has that been filed with the township?
no, it hasn't been. They filed the final development plan, and I'll have to check with what has officially been filed regarding that modification.
Well,
Because the confusion is, could the zoning inspector make that decision unilaterally, or would it have to come through the process? And that's
Okay.
what the discussion is.
Well, this has been mishandled, and it's still being mishandled. There's the PMUD, which is the zoning, and then there's the development plan.
Yes.
The allowance for the inspector or going to the zoning commission is on the development plan, not the zoning. They put into the zoning that it is required to be grass pavers.
Mhm.
So that's a zoning change, not a development plan change, so that needs to be rezoned. If we change one word in our zoning definition, if we put a comma, if we do and, we just have to do a couple simple definitions of what substantial is, that's an entire zoning change process. Going from the requirement, and it wasn't suggested, it was a requirement, and I would also like to say it's not minor, because those individuals were considering a referendum at that time if those agreements weren't, and that was the large part of it. And the communications with the attorney, she even references she references section 17, which is not PMUD, section 19 is PMUD.
Yes.
So I have concerns about
Yes.
the review, I have concerns about the review, but again, it is, if you look at the document, PMU zoning text, and that is part of that. It is not the development plan. The development plan is separate with the map and all that stuff. Those things can be changed by the inspector or the zoning commission. If it's not unanimous, it comes to us. Zoning changes have to go through a zoning change process. So I don't know why we're considering giving it to the zoning commission when, again, the plain text is in
Well,
the
Mr.
PMUD. And just for the public, PMUD is planned mixed-use development, and it's its own zoning for
Yes.
that parcel.
Yes.
It can incorporate other things like fencing and stuff, but when you look at zoning for all the districts, and then it'll have PMUD, because it is its own
Okay,
zoning.
okay.
So we need to go, that needs to be rezoned, not a development plan change.
Well, that's why we've engaged outside legal counsel, and we're not gonna litigate it here, but we're gonna do it according to the code. I know you like to go through, you're not an attorney, I don't disagree with some of the things you've had, but we're not gonna go through the whole process here tonight, we're gonna make sure we get it legally correct.
But what you state here is not legally correct.
Well, that's
And
your
I
opinion,
have
Mr. Hammond.
dove into that referendum, I worked hand in hand with
Okay,
that
Mr.
zoning.
Hammond, we're not gonna be, sir,
We need to do it right.
did you have something you want to say? Sure.
Good evening,
Good evening, sir.
members of the Board of
Well,
Trustees.
state your name and address, sir, please.
Members of the Board of Trustees, my name is Mike Shannon. I'm the attorney for the previous developer, the Robert Weiler Company,
Great.
as well as the applicant who submitted the final development plan request that listed the minor deviations that we were requesting. I want to thank you, sir, for taking the lead on securing outside legal counsel. We look forward to going through the process. I've been doing this, well, since I had hair, for 44 years. And I agree with your analysis, but we'll keep an open mind as we work with your special counsel and your commission. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Make sure we get your contact information so that we can.
Absolutely. I believe they have it because I filed this document's in question.
Yes, sir.
With the,
In fact, you were here at the
with the young lady that started
You brought me
September
into the
18th.
office.
And then I followed up with the fiscal, and then the inspector who was on leave did send an email, sir.
Thank you for speaking.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My final question on this is, it states that the Cumberland Estates PM unit modification and final development plan have been forwarded to the Etna Township Zoning Commission, but you said they haven't?
Let me clarify that. I have notified them that they will be forthcoming. So that's what we're working on with the outside legal counsel.
But this says have, this
Yes,
is.
I understand, Mr. Evans, you can indict me as much as you want on your 2
No,
minutes.
it's mismanaged and mishandled
No,
at
it's
every
not, Mr.
time.
Evans.
These are people's lives that.
And that's why we're gonna go through the process, Mr. Evans.
But it's gotta be
I guess
proper process and
I
proper
just can't, I
communication.
guess we just can't please you on anything.
Because you're not doing anything right.
Well, at least we're doing something.
I've been trying to do something for
Yes,
4
we know,
years.
we know. You're always the victim. So, Bricker Graydon will represent us in the Township of Lincoln County Planning Commission on October 27th regarding the variance which relates to the Chingle variance request. We spoke about that previously at a previously meeting. The park, Etna's.
Well, one question on that.
Yes.
Do you see the sign out front for outlots and online? They're advertising it for outdoor storage. Outdoor storage is not allowed. Are you aware of that?
I think you mentioned that before.
Has anything been done with that? Any clarification with the owners or?
No, not at this time.
Right, nor.
Mr. Evans, let me make one thing perfectly clear. We've invited you to come into the town hall and assist since our zoning
Stop
inspectors.
it. I've offered for diligent, you refuse. I've offered for master calendar, refuse. Stop lying.
I'm not lying.
You are lying.
I'm not.
I've got the emails, I've got the proof.
Etna's new park work session is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. That's the park off of State Route 310. Jim Jackowitz with EMH&T, who we've been working with several years now. There've been questions, how much have we expended to date? I know we've committed, I don't know if we paid it all, $50,000 towards the new park. So that will be Thursday. I invite everyone to come. That is a joint meeting between the new community authority and also with the Board of Trustees. So I invite everyone to come. It's going to be there'll be a brief presentation, and there'll be displays of the 2 preliminary options on the development of the park. But it'll be kind of free-flowing, and the public will have an opportunity to speak and to have comments and to look at those, and so we're looking forward to it and hope to see you there.
So what's been done to let the public know about this? Because every other town, about 5 people have showed up, and there's no attempt to
Did
advertise.
you put it on Facebook?
There's no, don't we have 2 free mailings from Wind Waste contract that I've been pushing to do? When was this meeting set up? I know the park committee
on
was.
the agenda? Can we get back to the agenda?
Ma'am, you're out of order. These are serious
So
questions.
y'all, can we?
But-
Ma'am, please, if you'll have to leave if you're not going to remain in.
You have public comments at the end. But the park committee members were only notified, I think, Sunday night about this, and this is why I keep bringing it up. I say we gotta do better, and it's never done.
We're gonna move on, Mr. Evans. That's an announcement. You criticize everything, but you never lift a hand to help out, so.
That's a
It's
lie.
unfortunate. It's not a lie, it's a fact. Okay, old business. Are there any recommendations or nominations from the rest of the board on the TRRC?
Yes, again, you got the email that Attorney Brian has already been selected to be on the TIRC board. We did that a year ago. I forwarded the email to you. And he's, I think we only have 1 seat for that board. The JED board, we need to make sure we have the dates of expiration. We had several resumes come in.
Correct.
Myself, I wanted to remain in my seat as a board member because, as we mentioned before, these boards are, meetings last about 2 to 3 minutes. And also we're looking for ones with experience. You don't just rotate out because they're expiration. Once you start getting into the groove of learning the TIFs and the JEDs, that's important that you keep the board members there. So I would recommend myself to be put back on the board. I would recommend Attorney Bryan to be put back on the, one of the boards as well. And I think John Carlisle, his term is expired. We're actually wanting to make sure he stays on those boards, and I'm gonna tell you why. He has the experience. And with his experience, he would be a good candidate to be on those boards. And he's done a fabulous job on those boards, so I would recommend that we keep him on those boards.
The one, again, I would like to correct you that there are 2 members for each Turk board, 2 for Reynoldsburg and 2 for the county. We went over this. The Susan Betzel, the former administrator, had that and corrected it, even copied you on the email. We don't even know what members are on boards, what term limits are expiring. This is ridiculous, and some people want to silence me and say, move on. This affects everybody. And have we gotten the nomination from the business district for the business representatives yet? We've talked about it time and time again.
Well, Mr. Evans,
It needs 3 nominations.
why don't you reach out to the business community and ask them to submit 3 names?
Do we not have an attorney that has the contact information of the members within that? Isn't that the proper, so do you author, because you're holding on control of the contact with all the attorneys, so I'll make a motion, no, this is my motion that Trustee Evans shall be the point contact with the Jed and Jed Z attorneys regarding the business nominee.
Is there a second to the motion? Is there a second to the motion?
So why don't you do it? I offered to do it, won't let me.
Mr. Burkholder,
Yes.
if I can speak, I think if I'm not mistaken, you appointed Letitia to that TIRC board. Is that? So you have her, and then you have Attorney Bryan, so that's 2 right there. So we're right?
Brian Stewart?
Yes.
I don't know if Letitia got appointed to that one or.
Well, she mentioned it, so you know.
Well, we will pull up that list,
Well,
which we looked for today.
We did
You
not.
can't make this stuff up.
We did not appoint her as a board.
And again, I offered, they blocked.
Well, Mr. Evans, I'll comment on that since you made a comment and opened the door. The reason I would not support a second to that is because of your caustic behavior and your abuse, and you take every opportunity to demean everyone that you can.
Stop sign,
We're
solved in 1 week.
we're going to have an election, thank goodness. Cumberland Crossing, OPWC. I move to adopt resolution 2025-070, authorizing the submission of the application by Michael Miller, who works with Verdandis. We have to have a resolution. We've already committed $2,500 for them to submit that application. You have to have an account with WorkWise, which is an electronic submission, and this would be for the Cumberland Crossing subdivision to request funding for that Ohio Public Works Commission, and hopefully if awarded that we could go ahead and do repaving there in 2026. Is there a second to the motion? Any further discussion?
Yes, why am I just seeing the resolution when I sit down? Again, sharing information with not only the full board to make an informed decision, because resolutions have been thoroughly wrong before, they're not reviewed. But the public should have the opportunity to review it and make comment. Why do you constantly withhold information from not only myself but the public?
Well,
that is the issue with almost everything here.
I'm not
It's
gonna-
very simple to
I'm
share.
not going to constantly respond to your numerous accusations.
It's
Roll-
not-
Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
No.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, Mr. Evans, you want to amend the agenda, but we have, you want to talk about the openings? Yes. What about the openings? You want a price? How much do you want to pay for a planner? We brought this up last time, but as far as advertising, what pay scale do you want for,
What are you doing? You didn't approve any.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over the one. Okay. We got the roll call on the, let's go with the next one. I went down to the position openings, but let's go back to C. I'll make a motion to purchase the server and related equipment from Alpha Link for the cost of $7,781. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Discussion.
Why are we going backwards? Servers are old technology. Everyone, even the fire district, has moved to the cloud.
Well, you
Servers
servers
are,
still
Ms.
in the
McKee,
cloud.
this is my time. Servers are expensive. They need to be backed up more. The cloud, which we're using, again, this new IT company costs more than the one that was replaced with. But again, the fire district, everybody's going to the cloud because it's automatic, backup, so many reasons why. But now, in addition to the cost that we were paying, now we're going to spend $7,000, $8,000 on the equipment, but then you got the maintenance, you got the replacement, and all that stuff. We're regressing. I mean, the way things are filed here, it's not even the 90s. Why are we going backwards? Ms. McKee, you claim to be an IT infrastructure specialist, but we're going back. We can't even get live streaming. I've offered to get live streaming in, plug and play, block that. The things that you're pushing here are putting us backwards. I don't get it. But you're gonna shove it through. But like I said, why we're not sticking with the cloud service that's worked, the OneDrive, the shared drive. I asked for the CALDA plans because I was interested in it because nobody gives me information here. Licking County Planning Commission did with the little SharePoint link. How amazing that is. But now we're going to have a server here. Internet's not working all the time. So if there's an issue here with the internet, you can't get to the data then. It's just not right.
Okay, let me just explain a server, Mr. Evans. You can still
I know
have
what a server is.
Obviously you don't, because you can still have virtual cloud within that server. You can have 3 servers within. You have a physical server, and you can still have the cloud in that. So you don't understand that. So you're speaking on something you don't understand. We will still have things in the cloud. We will still operate in the cloud.
So why do we have a server now?
Well, I'll just have a few comments. First of all, we changed IT companies. We've gone through a lot of different generations of changes here and everything. And Mr. Evans, you've opposed a lot of those changes as well, including the security policy where you don't share passwords. And so we are with Alpha Link. They made a recommendation. We continue to experience a host of difficulties and challenges relative to IT, organization of files. Some of that is some of that's kind of a holdover of generations of records. We've made progress here. There's much more work to be done, and this is a step that's recommended by a reputable company that has worked with many other clients, and we're still working through a lot of those challenges. So we're working with them. They have a recommendation, and I support this. So I want to say that, yeah, things are moving here in the township, not as fast as we'd like to, but we're making the changes. We purchased some laptops because Windows 10 isn't going to be supported in the fall.
And where are they?
So we've made those. Oh, we have them here.
They're just sitting here.
We did not purchase the whole amount because in anticipation for when we do get employees that want to come to Etna Township and actually work here. So I'm going to call the roll call on this. We've had discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Evans?
No.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I skipped over that, but now we have the positions. Mr. Evans?
Yes, I had to reach out to Dawson, the temporary agency, because not only myself is concerned that we don't have the staffing, but the Board of Zoning Appeals chair, issues with minutes, and even nobody going to be here tomorrow for them, so I'm coming in for that.
That's not true. That's not true.
Well, that's what Ms. Coutinho had indicated, but anyway, I asked Dawson, the contact there, for an update. And she said that when we were supposed to interview the one, we couldn't do it in an executive session. You just didn't call her. But you apparently interviewed her on her own, was satisfied. But you said that when I last spoke with Gary, he said the trustees were not willing to pay the rate we have in our executed agreement. I relayed this to Jackie, she confirmed. We have not had a discussion about the rate in an open meeting. So that means either Mr. Burkholder lied or they violated the Open Meetings Act again to terminate township activities outside of you two. Just like when he went back there that last December. I'm concerned. We need help. The board said that we're going to do it, but again, Mr. Burkholder, on your own, just like you haven't posted the planner position, you're telling them that the board is not willing to pay the rate. Is it the board or you?
That's not what I told her.
Well, so she's lying, you're not. And why aren't we moving forward? It's been a month. You
want to know
why wouldn't we bring it? We have a part-timer that the position wasn't even advertised. It was someone you tried to bring in last year. I didn't make a big hoopla because we can hire full-time later. The part-time admin assistant.
Someone I tried to bring in last year?
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah.
Who was it?
You submitted, Christina.
Last year?
Yeah.
That happened this year.
Was it earlier this year? Prior to now. But anyway, you tried to before, we didn't move on it. But my question is, okay, I have 2 times, so this is my second time.
It expired again.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad people think the mismanagement is so funny, especially you, Mr. Carlisle. You cost us this. We don't have records because of Mr. Carlisle. So, again, I would just like to say that Mr. Burkholder keeps saying, oh, we can't get to it because we don't have staff. We could hire her tonight.
No, you couldn't. You know why?
We could hire many people, but they refuse to. This just said, she was great in that. So the last I spoke to Jackie, end of last week, neither the billing and all that, but Jackie reached out and said there's still a need. So why aren't we doing it? If Dawson doesn't have it, somebody else does. I offered for the search firm. It wouldn't cost us a cent out of pocket unless we liked and hired them, and then there was even a flame-up guarantee. No cost up front for a planner, for an admin assistant, but you're refusing to advertise planner. You did it for almost a year on February 20th, 24.
How much do you want to pay a planner?
You're going to pay a planner $100 to $130 an hour. That's the next thing on the agenda. Instead of hiring somebody in-house.
How much do you want to pay?
How many times did I say advertise for a secretary? You did it, then you hired somebody down the street from you.
Well, I'll tell you, we'll put it on the record. Dawson is not willing. Did you put that response on Facebook?
No,
He did.
I have no idea.
Somebody put it on there with the applicant's name on it.
Okay. Did you? Who provided it? Just like I was accused when Jackie on her site, somebody put the road pay. Yeah, where'd you see it? You're making accusations.
I'm asking a question.
This was October 17. Because no information is provided to me. Anybody is kept from me. And I reached out to get this, and she was on vacation, so she responded the 17th. So
I'm just asking because I don't assume anything is correct when it's presented to me, but was that on Facebook? That response?
I have no idea what people post all kinds of things. Jackie works with them, giving them information pretty quickly.
Who got a copy of that?
When I hit that stop sign, Jackie was able to get that video down pretty quick.
Who got a copy of that?
He doesn't even have a clue.
Who that email go to?
Why don't you go
Who
online?
did that response
Why don't you go
go to?
online
Who
and
did that response go to?
why don't you go
Who did
and
that
bring in
response
proof?
go to?
I have proof. You don't have proof.
That's public document.
Yes, it is.
It only went to you, Mr. Evans.
And when did the old one? Who did that go to? Gary Burkholder.
Yeah. But I didn't have.
Why don't you bring? You don't have the proof because you lied.
Do you have any recommendations?
Yes, I mean, right now, because of the fact that you guys see all this chaos going on, why would we bring anybody into this? We do not need to do that right now. We should wait until the first of the year to make that decision. Right now, it's not a good time for us to bring in new employees right now.
Everybody look at the emails to the Board of Zoning Appeals shared last 30 days. We'll tell you everything about what is wrong.
Yes, it will, Mr. Evans.
If they give them to you, but ask me and I'll forward them to you. The ones I
I
have.
wish you would. I wish you would.
Yeah.
I wish you would.
Did you work cooperatively on the
I
agenda?
wish you would.
Did the Board of Zoning Appeals chair see the agenda before it was published?
You're off topic again, so my
It is
question is,
Yes.
how much do you want to pay a planner / zoning administrator? And how much do you want, I don't think we need a secretary, I think we need a full-time, we need
We need an administrative assistant, a secretary, a planner, zoning planner,
yeah. How much
and
do you want
a
to
zoning
pay
inspector.
planner?
Well, it depends what their experience is.
Well, no, if you're gonna put an advertisement out, what's the pay range?
You don't know.
No, I'm asking
We
you.
went through that.
I'm
I
asking
gave you the whole
No,
packet.
don't, what do you want to pay now? We have a job description from Morrissey. What kind of price tag do you want to put on that?
Review, I had it in the
Oh,
information I gave you.
You're not gonna.
So I'm supposed to remember every single
No,
thing.
you
Why
are.
don't you look at your
I'm
email?
asking you.
Why don't you look at your email? Search your email.
We're gonna go on because he won't answer any question as to what he.
I already provided.
Oh, you've already provided, but you didn't bring it here tonight. Okay, fine. I'm gonna move to approve an agreement for for a Morrissey planner. You have that document and the amount of money, which is like $27,000. You have the agreement, and is there a second? And that amount is between.
It's $100 to $130 an hour.
That's correct. And we had someone here for $80 an hour, and you wouldn't extend his contract, so.
And did
we
they do
need-
what they said they were gonna do? No.
Well, that's your opinion.
Did you withhold the planner position for over 323 days? You did.
You just,
It's not even in the minutes, so you still incorrect.
is there a second? Because there's no second.
We have, don't we have a right?
Yeah, I mean,
A second?
I'll second for discussion.
Go ahead.
Yeah. This
We
is,
voted to reach out to Morrissey.
Yes, we
so
did.
everyone knows.
yes, we did.
Because we need someone in this office in addition to our zoning inspector. We get a tremendous amount of plans. Now, McBride Dale isn't cheap either.
They're paying, what is it, $250?
And they're in Cincinnati, but they do a lot of things electronically, but they'll be here for the meeting tomorrow night to present on a variance. So having someone locally, and we need someone in the office, is a lot of money, yeah. But I know firsthand how much volume comes through there, final development plan, zoning, the phone rings off the hook. We have walk-ins all the time. Hey, I got a question, I got a concern, what about this? We cannot sustain the volume, particularly given the fact that we've had some people out. We've had some people, more than a few people, resign. And so I'm just being honest with the community. The board knows it, so we have a choice. And if you say no, then I've invited the trustees to come in, answer phones, or whatever they want to do. And you can huff and puff all you want, Mr. Evans, but
You
the
blocked
facts,
me tonight.
the facts are the facts.
Yes, they are. Facts are facts. But my issue is
You always have.
the lack of, well, even McBride Dale, they said they're not giving clear directions clear. Every vendor and Gary Burkholder controls every employee, department, committee, vendor, attorney, Burkholder. But nothing's handled properly, nothing's communicated properly. We've had...
You're off topic. You are off topic. Are you
No,
for or not?
I am on topic.
Let's-
I am on topic.
Okay, let's
This is
go.
Robert's rules. This is on topic
Point of
because
order.
my concern...
I just want to discuss this back to what I was discussing in
Violating
regards.
Robert's rules, but all right.
No, I did not, Mr. Evans. You're over there arguing.
You're not,
Please
that's
stop.
your discussion, not a point of order.
You have to control yourself. Please,
You interrupted my discussion.
go ahead.
Okay.
What's your...
Just so you know, it's very busy in here, and we need somebody in the office to handle this. This is only like a 15-week duration, so it's not like it's a permanent position. So I'm willing to support this. We need help. We are in need of help right now in the office. So this will get things moving forward, especially in the planning area. So I would definitely be supporting us move forward on this, Mr. Burkholder.
But you weren't willing to second it originally.
So what?
Mr.
Roll call,
I'm
please.
giving-
Roll call,
I'm giving more. See, this is why I've got to speak out
Two
there.
more minutes?
I want to say before she interrupted
Don't
me,
point your finger.
but again, the whole issue is whoever comes in, it's mismanaged. That's why nothing gets done. When that $80 consultant was working at a 4-foot folding table, nothing was done, nothing with the zoning that needed to be changed at the thing, nothing. And again, I get calls from our attorneys begging for help. Begging from vendors, and even Rick Rydell saying we are not given clear directive. And if you would see emails of Burkholder to the other ones, and they're like, what are we supposed to do? What are you asking? It's unclear, there's no directive, and that's my concern. But you're gonna bring in $100 to $130 an hour when you won't work with Dawson and you have a problem with those fees. But we can't bring people in, but we need to bring people in. This is nuts.
You're right, it is.
But you're in control of everything. Name one employee that you're not over, one committee, one vendor you are not over. You can't do it because you're over everything and you do nothing.
Well, that's an abject lie, because I've worked on all the grants and everything, and I posted, we brought in $5.8 million. And is anyone keeping track of how many times my name has been mentioned here tonight?
Because you
Do you
won't
have a
allow
count? Does you have a count?
anything done.
You have attacked.
Even the Jed Z appointee, when you said a minute before I motioned, why don't you do it? I motioned to do it.
You're right.
You blocked it.
You're right, I did.
You contradict yourself all the time. This is,
Again,
the township's being hurt.
Again, Mr. Burkholder, Mr. Evans, we voted to bring Warp C into this, and tonight we're actually making the vote.
Roll
So
call, thank you. Roll
Mr.
call.
Evans?
No.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
100 to 130 instead of just in-house plan. That was authorized February 2024.
Bring up salary there, Mr. Evans.
It's in the records.
Okay. Discussion on request for stop signs in Royal Acres.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I received an email from the HOA president there saying, I am following up on the below message originally sent May 31st, and again on June 16th, July 3rd, July 6th, July 17th, September 8th, and now October 12th. 8 times has it been addressed. I emailed Jared Kerr, Jared Kerr, the Licking County engineer. 1 week later, he provided my answers because I was very clear as to what I asked. He provided the reasons that we can, the opinions, and what would be needed for the installation of the new stop signs. It was not that difficult. But yet it was ignored. And this is the issue. there's a four-way stop at Princess and Imperial for the new traffic coming through. They've been asking for a four-way stop there because they're going fast. And again, I brought up targeted traffic enforcement. They blocked it.
That's not
So
true.
we need, for 4 years, every year I've done that.
Yeah, you haven't.
But this again, they're begging for help, safety.
Okay, Mr. Evans, are you for it or against it?
I am
Let me
for it.
explain something on the process. That did come in, we've had discussions with the road department. I responded, just recently though, not way back then. Yes, I'll say that. I responded, and I said there's a process. You just don't put signs up and then not say anything. You know, hey, road crew, go out there tomorrow, put those stop signs up. There is a process, because you have to give advance warning and education, so somebody doesn't come through there. Someone says, hey, it's a four-way stop, I'm gonna cross the street. And they blow the stop sign because they go, oh, when did that go up? There is a due diligence. So I'm glad you did that, Mr. Evans, and that's why it's on the agenda, and we can proceed with that process. But the Attorney General also said, we don't have unlimited authority.
Right.
So we really do need to talk to the county engineer. It's not the only.
No, the limit is on county, township intersections. We got the count with the county and other things, like we can't prohibit truck traffic. That's what they're saying, unless you're a limited home rule township.
I understand.
If you did the due diligence, you would understand that. But again, I did a simple request, and in a week,
What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Nurse sent every requirement required. So
am-
why, since May 31st, did you do nothing?
Well, that's not true.
So I move to approve the installation of the four-way stop complying with the requirements sent by Jared Nur at the intersection of Princess and Prince.
Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay.
I
Yes.
have also been in touch with Mr. Nerd in regards to this matter, and I've been over there in that community. I've seen this cars blow through. There's a lot of kids on that street, at least 15. And it is a safety issue, it's a safety concern. So with that being said, when I did contact Mr. Nerd, he said Mr. Evans had contacted him. So he would be providing us with some information, which he did in an email. So here we are tonight. So the pleasure of the board, as far as I'm concerned, we need to move forward on it. We need to make sure that we can provide safety for our children in our community.
But one question, this was brought up and discussed in
Let's
the
continue to move on,
board
please.
in
Let's
August.
move
In August,
Let's move on, please.
and you both ignored it then.
Again,
No,
please.
first of all,
This is about proper
first of all, I'm fully supportive of this. I want us to follow the proper process. Secondly, Trustee Evans is not a licensed attorney, so we do have an opinion. We do have an opinion from the Attorney General's office. One, do we have the authority? Apparently we do. Limited authority. Two, there is a process, and that's what I copied. Every trustee has a copy of that.
Yes.
They have to put up
Yes.
flags and everything. So fully support it, plan to vote for it, but we must follow the correct process, and that's part of the safety process as well. Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
You
Thank you.
copied everybody?
Resolution 2025, move to approve 2025-071 to approve purchase orders. Is there a second? Okay. Yes, get the, you wanna?
There is, the union contract costed a little more, so we needed more on there. And then the US Bank Trust took over the 310 loan.
Oh,
So it's no longer Huntington, it's now US Bank Trust.
okay.
But that's not on the sale.
No.
No, that's the 310.
310.
My question on here, again, with the purchase orders are supposed to approve before funds are expended.
Yep.
What, the Lincoln Regional Water District,
Oh, those haven't been expended yet.
they haven't,
No, those are for the last 3 months.
a
We still
bill,
have 3 months of,
bills?
well, yeah, October, November, and December.
Bills are expending funds. We got the water, we owe the money, that's not approving, again, what you're doing is then and now's for everything. The bill comes in and then we're gonna do a purchase order. What should?
No, I don't have the bill yet.
No, but the way purchase orders work.
Okay, Mr.
No, we went over this before, that if you have $1,000 you expect for the water bill to be for the year, you do a PO for $1,000 and then you monitor that because you're encumbering those funds to cover those expenses before you have them.
Mr. Evans, we only did half a year this year, because we only did a temporary at the beginning of the year.
But all POs are supposed to be before funds are spent.
I haven't
We
spent
went over
those
it last
funds.
time. We incurred the debt, that is spent.
No, we haven't incurred the debt.
You said we had 3 bills.
Okay.
No, October, November, and December's bills will come in and go out of there.
That's why she's doing it. So once again, you indict before you get the full information. Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder,
Yes.
Ms. McKee.
Yes.
A unanimous vote. Gotta have a sense of humor if you're gonna say
Well,
that.
I'm restating the obvious.
Roll call,
If you all knew the state of this township, you wouldn't be laughing.
Thank you.
No, they don't.
Look at your face.
Even Letitia McIntyre said she learned something so shocking, she couldn't say it.
you're out of order.
Won't say it.
Motion to pay the payments, please.
So moved. Is Rosalind, would you like a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
You'll see it's all right.
Any questions?
Yeah, the,
Official Downey, do you have an update on the handbook, Mr. Evans?
I have a copy of it,
Draft?
the email. Of the what?
yeah, well, it was working on the union rep, now it's working on that.
On the handbook, right?
Yes, on the
Do
handbook.
you have an update?
Yeah, we're working on it.
No, I was talking about, I have the copy of the union contract.
So it's expected before the end of the year.
Before the end of the
Do you
year?
know how much that's gonna cost?
Yes.
I can inquire.
Well,
We approved the handbook for, how much is the PO on that one? It was a separate PO.
Well, I just want to know because
Because that's when we were doing POs
well,
before.
we've been waiting on that update on the handbook, so.
Oh, I had to fix the union contract first.
Well, that's over, so.
I know, we saved people from going elsewhere. But here, so the Licking Regional Water District
Right.
bill payment
152 and 152.
That's the.
and 2568.
Yes. We have.
And that's not being paid out of that PO that we just approved.
No, I ran out of money out of the first PO.
So it is part of it, okay.
No. I need more.
How much more is left on the McBride Dale Clarion PO?
There's several different POs in that. I don't know that off the top of my head. Yeah.
When we approve an amount of, say, the last one, for the planner, 27,000, whatever it is, there should be a PO for 27,000 of that, and monitored and not exceeded.
Wasn't the planner 30,000?
Mr. Burkholder said 27,000.
Fiscal Officer Coutinho, would you please print a PO report for Trustee Evans so that he can have that and
You know
review that?
what would be better is I've been asking for read-only access to UAN to actually know what it is, because we've had $630,000 miscategorized.
Well, Mr. Evans, I'm all for transparency, but given the way that you have,
It's public record,
given the
so
way,
if you want me to ask.
given the way you have expended public funds on forms
No, you don't want
and
to
other
give
things.
read-only access. I've asked that for iWorks. Refused. What are you hiding?
Not hiding anything. Let's get back on this topic. Anything else, Ms. McKee? I'll give you an opportunity.
No, I'm good. I just went over everything. Everything's good.
And then Ice Miller, again, $590 an hour. NCA president says, well, that's our attorney. if that's gonna be
It's a reimbursement.
the stance. Yeah, well, if that's our attorney, why don't we direct a cheaper attorney and not eat up all the funds for the future park with attorney's fees?
Do you have any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Motion passes. Any transfers? You want to talk about the transfers?
Yes, I want to talk about transfer,
Thank you.
but I don't have a transfer paper. It's just what I want to ask you guys what you want to do. We have the $4 million from Williams. We can do one of three things. Open a separate checking account for the park. Put it into the Star Bank account and get 4.25, or put it into Park National and get 4.44.
Is Park National higher now?
I think so, yes.
Well, let's verify that
Yeah.
first.
The Star's always been good. So you can't split it, like do something?
I can do whatever you guys want.
What we need to show though is, I've asked that we set up a separate account. And that's of course subject to the board. I should say an account under the fund, the general fund, I presume it would be, that shows that came in under the new park.
Correct.
That's,
Now,
If
that's
you
up
want
to-
to take the interest from that money and keep it separate so that it goes to pay for the park, I would suggest opening a separate, like, Star account or Park National or someplace else.
It'll make it a little easier than trying to have and split out what interest comes from the other investments we have regarding the $4 million that we now have. I take it in the general fund, in the checking.
There's like $5 million, $6 million, yeah.
we're keeping track of the funds is, I mean, it's basic accounting.
Why
But
not?
as far as the expenses on that, we're gonna have general fund expenses, we're gonna have, so if you're talking about, well, we gotta ensure that every penny of every interest, we're gonna be spending more than that on the park, so why are we worried about separate accounts and all that?
Just so we can track it, that's what makes sense.
Do it.
I guess I call that transparency. How much interest came in?
Why
and
aren't we
is that
transparent about anything else?
Well, you can make all the accusations.
I couldn't even get bank statements from our fiscal officer.
All right, last thing, when you guys decide that, let me know. Last thing is at the end of September, there was $10.9 million in the bank. Receipts for September were $353,000, and payments out were $497.
Very good.
And can we just make a motion to direct the fiscal officer to open a separate Star account for the $4 million?
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Yes.
Very good. We can
Isn't
start
that easy?
earning interest.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
we use
there's a
that for
link.
the JED board, so we kind of consider that.
No, but what?
Mr. Evans, we did it. Move on. It's done. A decision's been made. You want to debate everything for hours and hours and hours. We're here to make decisions. We made it. Now let's move on. You just don't get it. You've been here 4
No,
years.
you don't get it.
No, you don't get it.
It would have been
Is
delayed
that it? Do
till
you have
November.
anything else?
No, I'm done.
Very good. It wasn't going to get delayed.
It wasn't gonna get moved till November.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Just take one out. Keep moving.
Public comments. Anyone like to speak at this time for 2 minutes?
Okay, Gia Raber, 9305 Summit Road. I'm tired of being nice. This is it. The next time that we have a public meeting, we have public comments, I thought it was supposed to be helping the township, not being stupid in the corner and laughing. and
Address the
being
board, please.
I'm addressing the board
Well,
because
then-
you're not,
then
you
look at
don't
us.
do your gavel with them.
Yes,
You
I
do it
did
with
do
other
the gavel
people.
with them.
Not when they're loud.
It's not arguing.
Everybody, please.
I want to
You have
know
the floor.
how my picture got on Etna Uncensored, because it was supposedly from being filmed by Jackie And there's no film, there's no camera in the back of me
Right there.
going back. I know it's there, but it was a close-up of me. So how did they get it right when I got home? Do we do this to Shelley or AJ or whoever? I'm tired of it. This is supposed to be a board that helps the residents of Etna Township in Licking County. This is not helping. You have had offers for people to come in and help you in the office because you're so far behind, but you don't want to hire anybody, even temporary. I don't get it. What is your goal? Is your goal to get Mark out? Because I know it's what you're doing, but I don't want anybody that's in here doing the crap that they do. And you're just as guilty as she is, and he is, and they are. So, if you want romper room, keep it going. I don't understand you guys. You're not getting anything. You're not doing anything. It takes you months to do something that would take 2 weeks. It keeps coming back. You need more information. Talk to each other, for God's sakes.
We have to in the meeting.
You should do it otherwise. Even
can.
if you just email people. You don't have to talk to them. Obviously you don't because nothing gets done. Thanks.
Well, that's not true.
Please. You post on Facebook now that it's election time. People aren't stupid, Gary. We have brains.
Well, then I will comment on that one. I will comment on that one. The reason I'm posting positive things now is because I got sick and tired of being accused that nothing gets done in this township. Please, you're out of order. So, and it's amazing that when you post something positive, then you still get criticized. As I said, I'm not running for election. And the reason we don't hire some volunteers, some people that have volunteered because they've already violated the handbook by their behavior on Facebook. Sir, you have the floor, name and address, please.
Our current appointees are doing that.
Give me proof, buddy.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you, Justin Sayre, 154 Prince Road.
Hi, Justin.
I'm the president of the HOA for the Preserve of Royal Oak. So prior to some comments that were shared before, all three of you responded to our emails, so thank you very much. I appreciate the vote to add our stop signs. A couple follow-up questions. Who's going to be the point person of you guys to communicate that with? And who does that go to? The roads department or?
That we will have to coordinate with the roads department.
Okay, do we have a timeline on when that will occur?
Well, our road superintendent is currently out, so we want to check with him. We want to review those requirements and proceed from there. So as I said earlier, we want to make sure we follow that process.
No,
It's a great question.
So
Yep.
how long is he out for? Is it a determined amount of time?
No, he'll go back, I think at the end of next week.
Okay, so we're talking, or we should have an answer within 2 weeks.
I
That's
would
what
think
that
so.
process should be.
Yes.
All right. Am I expected to get an email back from one of the three of you?
Yeah, we can let you know. We've got your email, and I appreciate your patience.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next?
My name is E. Eshelman, and I live in Cumberland. I'm gonna keep this real short and sweet, and it's gonna be real short. And I'm gonna say, Evans Township deserves better than what we've seen from Mr. Evans. If you guys have looked, anybody's looked at what's happened during this meeting and every other meeting I've been to in my life, okay, I am just done. We don't need 4 more years of this, so vote this out, okay? The other thing is that the people sitting back there, I guess the Carlisle cronies, or as Mark Evans would put, the criminals of Etna Township, we do have a voice and we do have freedom of speech, okay? End of story. Thank you. Thank you. This part. Thank you. Yeah. We have freedom of speech.
Ms. Asher-Berger, please compose yourself.
No, we have freedom.
Yes, please.
Freedom of speech.
If you continue, and I think the point's well taken, of making noise when someone's speaking, the deputy will remove you. He'll ask you to leave. He'll ask you to leave. You're out of order now.
No, but I had
Who's next? You're out of order.
Letitia McIntyre, 15 3rd Avenue Southwest. I am really pleased to hear about the Board C person coming in. That really is gonna help our board. We really do appreciate you all passing that tonight. Also, I'm glad to hear about the Intel, the internet being upgraded and everything. I apologize, I missed the first part of the meeting, but what I heard, those are positive things for our township.
Yes.
So that's what we need more of, is more positivity. Thank you very much for agreeing to that. When you all work together, things do get done. So try to do that more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Randy Potts, 114 Royalty Drive. I'd like to follow up with Letitia's comments. My comments was along those lines also. We have another election coming up in 2 weeks where 2 or 3 trustee positions are on the ballot. Most campaigns seem to be based on restoring integrity, civility, and respect for the board. This is in direct response to the abusive, disrespectful treatment of board members, committee members, and residents, as we are seeing this evening. This cannot be accomplished unilaterally by any one person. It will require listening with respect and open mind and willingness to negotiate in good faith. Make arguments based on factual, truthful, current information, such as, and also highlight and promote accomplishments, ways that the township has and will benefit, such as obtaining funds, additional funding, projects such as Pike Street and the Hyde Park improvements, the family night event, and addressing concerns of residents such as the drainage issues and future developments, and highlighting these accomplishments such as Mr. Burkholder has been trying to do online to highlight what we are doing for the community. Now, this obviously does not mean allow yourself to be a doormat. Candidates who campaign on these principles and is given the honor, privilege, and responsibility of township governance, please remember your campaign promises. Despite the status of our divisive national politics, let's be an exception and take the focus off the infighting, dirty politics, and concentrate on helping our residents and promoting our local community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Who's next, please?
I will again, since I can't trust it, won't cut the off during trustee comments. Happened too many times. So we had the chair of the zoning commission come up here about working together while she refuses to work with the trustee. She actually stated, you should stay in your lane. This is my lane. I have oversight of the township as well as 2 other trustees. That same zoning commission chair, Letitia McIntyre, violated the required timeline for zoning changes time and time again. Just wouldn't do it. That's not the change we need in that. But Mr. Burkholder, you ran on day 1 agenda. You violated every promise in that, holding water district accountable. Nope. Everything. Being transparent and working cooperatively with agendas. Nope. You changed and flipped just like McKee. Even before you took your seat, I found out now. So you didn't act for 2 years to get elected, and then you tried to get a seat as the, the court clerk? That didn't pan out because people saw it. But what we're talking about here is someone that's going to protect school funding and fire district funding. John Carlisle
You address the board
gave
in order, sir.
5 or 6 tips a week before he left office, diverting millions upon millions of dollars to his developer buddy, Sabatino, who he was also plowing the undedicated streets.
30 seconds.
It's not hard to do stuff like this stop sign. 2 weeks, it ain't gonna happen. We see it time and time again. This was brought up in the board, I think, in August. Did nothing. And like I said, even the funds to transfer to the other thing,
It wasn't gonna be done, but Mr. Burkholder said, yeah, it would have been done before November. How? The board didn't approve it. She can't just transfer funds
Mr. Evans, we voted on it.
after I motioned it.
Oh, yeah.
Always the bragger. Okay, anybody else?
You know, I heard somebody back here after Mark got done speaking, wasn't this meeting, but a few meetings ago, I heard somebody mumble, "There, but for the grace of God, goes God." Mark Evans has a God complex, and he just said he's in control of everybody, the other trustees and everything. That's what he's running for. He seems mystified why people don't want to work here. You know, I sat over there and watched people that were here to get interviewed, go in and withdraw and leave after they seen Mr. Evans in action. So people don't want to work for Aetna because of the bully of the township. Mark Evans, toxic bullying, a hypocritical egomaniac that is obstructing every phase of business in Aetna. Mark's only concern is trying to stay relevant. Now he's flooding the Facebook zone. You can tell it's election time. His only concern is he's not in charge of everything. You can hear it in his language. You can hear it in his campaigning. Give me one more person and I'll fix everything. Well, he tried that before. He had one person. What did he do? He turned on him and crucified him. And he says it's because he wouldn't do what he wants. Exactly the point, Mark. Unless people will totally bow to your wishes, they must be destroyed. You're like Robo-Trustee. So, thank you. I hope we can unplug Robo-Trustee November 4th or 5th, whatever it is. I think it's the 4th. I already early voted. Sorry, Mark.
Next, please. Yes.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Gill, 125 Bishop Drive. I'm also on the board for the Preserve at Royal Oaks HOA. So I'm thankful that y'all approved our stop signs that we've been asking for. So thank you for that. I do find it very disappointing that a follow-up question, something as simple as who is going to be the point person to send an email to your road crew to install a stop sign. The response that we get back is, well, we're going to follow a process and he might be out of town or whatever.
He's out of town, but we'll send
Okay,
an email.
I know,
I'll send an email
it's-
tomorrow plus to the trustees.
Okay, this is my time, thank you.
Yes.
But now you're making me lose my train of
No,
thought.
go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
something as simple as who will take point on sending an email. It does not matter if that person is out on PTO today, tomorrow, or for the next 2 weeks. Someone should be able to take action to say, I will take control of that, and I can handle that, and I'll send that email out tomorrow, and I'll be sure to CC the people that requested it on there. It's a very simple task, and the three of you, no one said, I'll take point on that. It's disappointing. It's unprofessional. And I work in a corporate environment, and that is what we are expected to do in meetings. Here are my action items, and I would like to see you do that as well.
I think your point is extremely well taken, and I will do that, and you are correct. I should have said that.
So you're going to be the point person?
But let me explain one thing here. I will copy all three trustees, and I'm sorry that we live in such a hostile environment in here. Just let me explain. The point is extremely well taken, and we will copy. We have the email from the HOA, and we'll copy everyone. Now I'll send it over tomorrow to the assistant superintendent of the roads, and we'll get the information that we've received. In fact, I've already forwarded it. I'm gonna check, I don't know if I forwarded that this afternoon or not, but I wanted to have the AG opinion plus the diagram from the engineer on how, what the process is to notification, putting it in, the whole process that has to be done.
Okay, thank you. So my action item for that is that Gary is tomorrow going to send an email to the assistant superintendent and
Right.
copy the involved parties.
Including the
Thank you.
trustees,
Perfect.
so everybody knows, and the fiscal officer.
Great.
Very
Thank
good, thank you.
So, you know, Ms. Chelsea, the way our office is set up, he's over the road department, so he takes the leads on those, so he would be that person that's responsible to send that email.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. That's
very
good to
much.
know.
Normally, that would be the township administrator, but we currently don't have one. But thank you
But
for the
again, Ms.
question.
Burkholder controls everything.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Evans.
And when I try to step in, but I did step in on this and push as I could.
And I'm pleased you did.
Well, why did it have to take it? But why wouldn't you let me do the Jet Z and Jed? Why would everything, the road roof was falling down on people you ignored for a year, and I got it.
That's not true. That's
It is
abject
true.
falsehood. It's a falsehood. Who's
I've
next?
got the employees stating that.
Who's next? It's not true. Just, you keep making stuff up.
So now the employees
Anybody
are lying.
else? Anybody else? No, they never said that. Who
No,
else
yes,
said
they
that?
did.
We're not gonna bring the employees in and pit them against each other, Mr. Evans. Okay, very good. Announcement and trustee comments? Any comments?
Yeah, I would just like to reiterate again, the reason I didn't speak up is because I said earlier, Burkholder controls everything. He won't allow anything to be done, even trying to work on the agenda, the software, nothing. Regarding the claim by Mr. Hanson, the husband of the former administrator that left the dangerous intersection for the young woman and child that he T-boned. No, it's documented. That person that waited out here and then left, withdrew their application, was because Burkholder told them to come in here 2 hours before their interview time. They sat for 2 hours, and it was such disrespect that they withdrew. There were 3 candidates that withdrew because of his conduct. One's an email saying, "I wish you luck dealing with him." This has been the problem time and time again of simple things like your stop sign should have been dealt with May 31st. Thank you for the email. We will look into it, do the due diligence, talk to the engineer, but all I get is, well, we're going to do this. Even when we discussed it here in August, I've got the video. No action, no nothing, just like the funds. No action unless I push. And most of the time they block it, but it shouldn't be this hard. And time again, I've proven to recommend and push for what's needed. These things aren't that difficult. And if you share information with everybody before just setting it on the podium before when we get here, so we can actually look at it, research it, ask some pertinent questions, we could probably be out of here in under an hour. But it's not done. And again, everybody wants to blame me for all this nonsense.
Your time's expired.
They control everything.
Your time's expired. Ms. McKee?
No, I just wanted to make it clear, our agenda, we try to do action items only. So we can get in, take care of our business, and get out. I respect everybody's time, so that's why we do the action items only. We're not here to back and forth, draw out your time. Our evenings are precious, our time is precious. So I would just want to be clear, we do action items only on our agenda. And I've done that, and it seems to work.
That's at work for the minutes.
We're going to continue to work hard to get the people's work done. Having staff is important. It is difficult though working in this environment, but I do appreciate everyone coming. Constructive criticism is fair, but we have dedicated staff. And I don't appreciate a fellow trustee constantly demeaning them, trying to catch them in gotchas, making false accusations, try to violate the cybersecurity code, and so I'm not here to go on about, well, you know.
It's amazing, no issues with the road department, that's the largest department here. It's because they weaponize people working here, hiring their friends. Carla hiring his girlfriend.
Just let me say.
Not the current one.
I'll make it a political policy statement. This township cannot endure 4 more years of going back 3 and 4 years, constantly passing aspersions against others. Is there a motion? Oh, by the way, BZA hearing tomorrow at 6 p.m. here. New Park work session is going to be on Thursday here at 6 p.m. Trustee regular meeting has been moved to November 5th, the day after the election. We did that at the reorganization meeting in January. And the zoning commission meeting is tentatively scheduled for November 6th, and we're still working to work out that process and get that thing moving. So thanks for coming. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I did the,
Pardon?
I did the zoning commission approved the meeting.
What?
We are approved for that.
We're approved for November 6th.
Okay, very good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Burkholder?
Yes.
Ms. McKee?
Thank you.
I want to know, is that the man that used to work in Mark Evans's position? The taller man? Carmine. Excuse me.
I guarantee you after that. Okay. That's right, that's right. No, I
Whatever happens.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Here, I'll tell you what.
I've been so caught up with school. Oh, yeah, well, that's more important. That's more important. And he's learning how to fly. Oh, yeah, that's true. They ran out of twice. And so they went down there today to finish it. So they should be there. What time were you down there?
What time were we down there?
How are you?
About 12:30, we were down there. About 12:30.
Oh, yeah, they didn't get out until.
Oh. I just it was there. The holes are there.
Yeah, they ran out of ties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I called him out. Yeah.
That's why I called you.
He was giving me the paper back. Yeah.
This was a Joel, my son. Adrian, John, Madam. It's got that Italian.
Evidently, they have they sent me emails.
Not as busy as on the road. Oh, yeah. I didn't think I could get a whole
Once I say that, my answer right there. You're on Facebook.
The fact that they use Western
That's the right. There's no other way of doing it.
it's
Right, but that's what I'm saying. As soon as I educate them.
the guy that got it with me, he's here. He, it's one of those, you like, what they told me about this in the school, you could.
I think we're on the right path.
I can't remember the deadline.
We got 2 more weeks in line.